Hello guys, welcome back to the video. It's StratusFW here. In today's video, we're going to be going over the potential for a severe weather outbreak on the 21st. That is going to be Wednesday through Friday of this next upcoming week. So yeah, let's get right into this. So this is where this thing starts. We're going to be looking at through about Wednesday when things start to happen, where we're going to have widespread shower and thunderstorm coverage happening through portions of the southern plains, including Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Kentucky, um, northern Louisiana, and portions of both western Tennessee and western portions of Mississippi. Then we get a large line of thunderstorms that moves through portions of the region Thursday through Friday. It looks like to me like this is going to be a mostly damaging wind event, but we can see extra convection happening in portions ahead of the line, which means we could be looking at more of a robust tornado threat as well. The European model is showing much the same thing as we go into the day. You can see there's extra convection ahead of it. There's not a whole ton of it, but as we keep on going, it looks like mostly damaging wind threat. I would say the most threat for the most corridor for tornadoes is going to be right ahead of the line, which is going to be portions of southeastern Texas, where we could potentially see um, a cluster of thunderstorms develop, which means there's potential for individual supercells, and then we get this individual line of thunderstorms that moves through. But even you can see some curving in this line, which means that tells me there's some rotation with it, which means we could see more like a QCLS tornado threat. And then we have extra convection happening in portions of central Arkansas as well. And as this thing continues to move off to the east, you can see it just kind of continues to go. And then I think we could see extra severe weather happening um, in portions of uh, Illinois, portions of Missouri, Arkansas, Tennessee, um, Alabama, and Louisiana. Now, I do think by then it would be mostly a damaging wind threat. But the part that has me concerned is you can see these individual thunderstorms happening, a cluster of thunderstorms ahead of it, which means we would likely see a tornado threat that would be kind of somewhere in here where the cluster of thunderstorms is, wherever that develops, and then it would be more of a line of thunderstorms. So I think the real main area to watch for any potential tornadoes is going to be pretty much Texas. So I would expect probably a slight to enhance risk of severe weather for portions of Texas. And this supports it because if we look at the dew points around 2012Z, we can see widespread dew points in the 60s and 70s, and it could even get more than that. Dew points could get as high as 70 degrees, which means I think we're looking at a corridor of the potential for tornadoes in portions of Texas, Louisiana, and I think I think southern and central Louisiana and southern Texas will be the primary threat for it. And as you look at the temperatures are also favorable for it. Temperatures could be as high as 80 to 90 degrees and then falling up to 60 to 70. Um, if you look at the most unstable cape with these mixtures, you can see the cape is definitely there. The cape is showing extreme cape values, so I really do think we're going to end up seeing a slight risk of severe weather in portions of Texas and Louisiana, and potentially even a moderate threat, due to the fact if you look at the wind shear, um, you can see this wind shear building here. There is a mixture of linear wind shear and vertical wind shear here. The first line of thunderstorms is what I'm watching for. You can see wind shear in excess of 50 to 60 knots in portions of this area where the thunderstorms are being seen, which means there is plenty of wind shear, instability, and just tons of cape values also. Convective, convective available potential energy, which means the corridor for tornadoes is prime. And if you look at the photographs as well, the photographs are also prime for this as well. The photographs are just through the roof. Photographs are definitely seeing that there's a tornado threat. And if you look, um, this threat doesn't really get going until probably Thursday into Friday, but where you see this, the most elevated stuff, you can see there is a severe weather threat with this, which means it would be potential for tornadoes. So I can't exactly give an exact estimate where the tornado probability would be, but I would expect it to be central Louisiana through portions of southeastern Texas. And this is going to be Thursday through Friday time frame. So I think we're going to see, um, I think we're going to see Thursday. I think we're going to see some individual supercell thunderstorms develop 1st and Thursday, with a line of thunderstorms still hanging in through portions of Texas, which means damaging winds will probably be a threat. This is probably going to be a slight risk of severe weather, if not enhanced risk, just due to the fact that the wind shear is high in this environment. And then you see more individual supercells develop ahead of this line of thunderstorms. And you can see the available, you can see right here 1215Z, and you can look at it again on the wind shear map. You can see the wind shear is off the charts around that time frame. And as we continue moving through, you can see that continues the trend as you go through portions of central Louisiana before it becomes more of a just damaging wind threat. But you can see the separation between the thunderstorms, which means the tornado threat is still elevated. And the lightning density really confirms there is a lot of clustering of thunderstorms, which means the tornado threat is definitely higher. So my guesstimate forecast right now is we're going to see an enhanced risk of severe weather at the bare minimum. I would not be shocked if you see a moderate risk of severe weather being issued in portions of southeastern Texas and central Louisiana for the potential for tornadoes. And you can see both models do agree with this. There's clustering of thunderstorms happening ahead of it. The GFS model is not so insistent about it, but it still shows a nasty line of thunderstorms. But I still think the tornado threat is elevated. So again, I think we're going to see an area of moderate risk severe weather being issued in portions of this portion of Texas, and another one through central Louisiana. Then the storm system moves off to the north and east, creates some rain for the northeast. Now we're going to look at the pattern over the next couple of weeks. So here's the GFS model first. So we get that storm system to develop, and it moves to the northeast with some rain. And then we get into more of a wintry pattern, and then we could see maybe a potential for a stronger storm with excessive wind gusts through the 28th. But this is so far out, and both models do not agree. But one thing I can say for sure is we're seeing indications out far, including the long-range models, that you're seeing temperatures. We're seeing temperatures being flooded in, and the CFS model has been showing this for a long time. And you can see the same with the European model almost, where temperatures are going to be flooding in from the north, which is indication that the polar vortex is very unstable at this time. And one other model that really supports this claim is the CFS model. If we look up across North America, you can see all this cold air bundled up, and then we could see what's called a stratospheric warming event, which is going to really allow this polar vortex to really just unravel. So I think we're dealing with a very cold and snowy winter. And with these temperatures being so cold, you can just see how unstable the atmosphere is going into this. You can see the amount of storm systems. This is very classic of neutral phase La Nina, and just a La Nina in general. We have not seen this in quite for some time. Now moving on to the actual Storm Prediction Center, they have no issued severe weather risk for Wednesday into Thursday or Thursday into Friday. However, I do expect a slight risk of severe weather and potentially even an enhanced risk of severe weather, and then eventually probably even a moderate risk of severe weather that is issued for portions of central Mississippi, Louisiana, and southeastern Texas. That on the space weather, sunspot region 4274 is now moving out of the region, which means solar flares will likely no longer be an impact for us for at least several days. But if we look on the far side of the sun, you can see there's already a few areas developing. They're starting to update this now, and this just got updated actually. This is actually pretty extreme levels. So you can see this is just about to enter Earth's side, which means I think this is going to be a really big flare player. If you look at this is actually more dense than this. It's actually more dense than this. The sunspot region 4274, which means I think we're in the phase of getting some pretty big solar flares. And this comes into view probably within the next 24 to 74 hours. And then we have other sunspot regions as well, but I would really keep an eye on this one because this one looks pretty extreme, to be honest. But over the last 24 hours, we have seen yet another X-class solar flare. This one is an X3 class solar flare. But through the next week, if these solar flares were to play, what is the cloud cover? So the cloud cover looks like it does look favorable. It looks like we're going to see multiple storm systems, but it looks like to me like we're going to have breaks in the clouds. There's no real solid forecast of this, but the northern tier of the country, it's going to really depend on where you get out of the clouds and stuff like that. A better picture with the long-range European model, it looks to me like we're going to see potentials here for these northern lights if this sunspot region is able to do its thing. So I think the northern half of the country, again, it really looks like we're going to have an active weather pattern, which means cloud cover may be an issue. But still, I would keep an eye on this potential for this sunspot region. P100, and this should be coming into our range here pretty soon. This is probably within 24 hours now, so I would really keep an eye on this. I don't know which sunspot this is called, but if you look at this actual sunspots, you cannot see it on here, but it is probably right around this area on the sun. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys today. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to never miss an upload. And without further ado, we will see you in the next one.